Here's how you can make 131 sales off of one self-generated lead. So if you're watching that and you're wondering, how is that even possible? Or maybe you think that it can be done, I'm about to tell you how. You generate your first lead, right? You get an appointment, you make a sale. There's 3 ways that you can do this. You can first ask for permission to contact the primary beneficiary. Second, always ask for a contingent beneficiary and offer to contact them. Third, ask for 3 referrals at the end of the conversation after you've made the sale, and now you have 5 new leads that you didn't have to pay for. If you repeat this process, you will then be able to ask for an additional 5 referrals from the 5 sales that you make off of your 5 new lead, your 5 new client. Wash, rinse, and repeat. After doing this only 3 times, you end up with 131 insurance policies if you only wrote 1 policy per person per referral that you asked for, assuming that you started with Miss Jones and only asked for 5 referrals moving forward and just did the same process over and over from each of the people that you sold. If you're watching this and you're wondering, how do I even ask for referrals, and you don't know how, that's exactly what this video is for. So the first secret to asking for referrals is to set the expectation. You want to pre-frame the conversation. I'm not going to be the sleazy salesman on the back end asking for all of her friends and family's contact information. It's weird. So instead, what I'll do is I'll let her know on the front end. I'll say, Miss Jones, I'm gonna make you 2 promises here at the beginning. I'm gonna tell you how I do business. Is that fair enough? Yes, it is. Then what I'll do is I'll say the first thing that I'm gonna let you know is that I'm always gonna be honest with you. You may not wanna hear everything that I have to say because, you know, life insurance is a little bit heavy. What I will tell you is that I'm never gonna lie to you, and whether or not this is a good fit for you, I will let you know, okay? The second thing is that I'm gonna make sure that we're not able to move forward in any direction, whether it's, you know, moving forward and getting you a policy or not, unless you understand exactly everything we've gone over today. Now, by the end of this conversation, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask you for 2 or more referrals. If you feel like you've gotten adequate value from me, then I would expect you to reciprocate that. Is that fair enough? Yes, of course. She'll always say that. And so there's 2 things that I want to mention before I move on to the next, secret and show you an example of how this works. Leaving a business card behind in no way, in no universe or dimension has ever been asking for a referral. So kill that habit now. The second secret is there's no secret sauce to asking for referrals. I'm going to tell you how I do it. I'm going to give you my script. I'm going to go over all of that in a second, but you just have to ask. If you don't, the answer is always no. So in closing out the conversation, I'm always going to ask, so Miss Jones, I'm going to relax, act like I'm at home, on the phone or in the house. It doesn't matter. Miss Jones, do you feel like you better understand your insurance now? Yes. Oh my gosh. She's going to rant and rave. For you to be able to use this technique, you do have to actually educate them on the insurance. Just a little light bulb tip there, right? And so after she affirms, yeah, okay, I do feel like I understand my insurance better. The next step that I will take is I will say, oh, of course, I'm so glad that I was able to help you out. I'm so glad I was able to give you that value. See, I'm using a keyword there, as I told her earlier in the conversation. If I gave her the adequate amount of value, I would ask for the referral. Yeah, so I'm glad you got a value out of our conversation. Who are 2 people that you can think of that are in a similar financial situation to yourself that could benefit from going over what we went over today? Now, the reason I ask for similar financial situation is because it's not vague. If I say 2 or more people, her mind starts wandering. But when I say similar financial situation, she's already thinking about people who are making the same money as her with the same issues. Automatically, you've got 2 people that have come to mind, and then asking for the third is a seamless transition after that. I'm also going to ask for permission to contact the beneficiaries, and I'm going to show you how. Who are 2 more that are in a similar financial situation to yourself that could benefit from going over this information? Oh, my cousin blah 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 and my aunt blah blah blah. Oh, perfect. Okay, gotcha. And you said your aunt's name was what? Oh, okay. And what was her phone number? And then your cousin's, okay. And what was his phone number? And there you go. And then, do you think there's anyone else in the family or maybe a friend that, could benefit from going over this with me as well? I want to make sure that nobody's getting left out and they don't have to chase me down or anything. See, I'm making myself a scarce resource. My cousin, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. And what was his, and his phone number? Perfect. Then after I've gone in and I've asked for all of those, I'm going to ask for permission. I'm not going to tell her. I'm going to ask for permission. She's going to give me the go anyways. Miss Jones, do you think it would be okay for me to reach out to your beneficiaries just so they would have my phone number in the event that something were to happen to you? That way they don't have to chase me down or, search through your house for the insurance papers wondering where they could find the phone number to call the insurance company. That way I can go through that entire process with them. Do you think that would be okay? Would that be appropriate? 2 more referrals right there. Boom. That right there is how you can ask for referrals with your contingent and your primary beneficiary and 3 people. I want to give you a couple of tips here as to why I do everything the way that I just did it. First tip is I'm always pre-framing. I'm never going to spring it up on her at the last moment. I need to set the expectation to make sure that she feels comfortable and she doesn't feel like I'm taking advantage of her just for her friends and family's information at the end of the appointment. Notice that I'm always asking for confirmation of value, and I'm also asking for people who are in a similar financial situation, right? Point of interest. Also note that I'm going to ask for the phone numbers after she gives me the names, because she's not going to say my cousin cousin Bill. Here's his number, 719-339-4400. It's not gonna happen. It's weird. It's awkward. Nobody does that in normal conversation, so why would she now? You have to ask. Keep in mind, I'm also gonna confirm their number and read it back to her to make sure that it's the same one that's in her phone, and I'm gonna make a joke out of it. Oh, well, hey, I just wanna make sure, just so I'm not talking to the wrong Becky, her number was 336, whatever, right? Now, because a lot of you are wondering, how can I even go about calling these beneficiaries, calling these referrals? That's a great question. So I figured I would go ahead and give you my script on that as well. First, let's go over calling referrals. When I'm calling a referral, the first thing that I'm gonna always do, so that they don't think I'm a telemarketer, they don't think I'm some scummy car salesman or some insurance sleaze bag, I'm gonna go straight to the point that I'm calling them because their family member asked to, and I'm using a point of interest. Hey Susan, I was just giving you a ring because your grandmother asked me to. Becky, yeah, we were just on the phone and she said that you might have a couple of questions for me. Questions about what? Oh, I'm sorry, let me introduce myself. My name is Julian. Yeah, I was giving you a ring because she said that you guys were in a similar financial situation and I might be able to help you guys out. I'm actually helping her out with some of her, finance. You have a moment, right? Or I can just set an appointment. It doesn't matter either way, but I'm always gonna ask for permission after I've stated that I've worked with the family member, because now I'm a trusted advisor and I'm a welcome guest, not an unwelcome pest. So to give you guys an idea, number one, name drop. Number two, explain why you're calling. Just shooting the shit, talking about how you guys are, oh, she was the best grandmother ever. We baked cookies. Yeah, we talked about the prices right for an hour and a half. Just get straight to the point. Explain why you're calling. Now, number three, for your third point, make sure that you explain what just happened with their family member. Make sure that they understand that you're not just some scummy guy that's trying to use their family member as an in, and explain, oh yeah, we talked about, she said you love dogs or you love horses. Use something that's in common, something that they would know about, and then go to set an appointment or go straight for the call right there if they're not busy. So calling beneficiaries, number two. If you're calling a beneficiary, the first thing that you're going to want to do is give them a ring and let them know that the person who put them down wanted you to call them. Hey, is Tim there? Yeah, hey Tim, your mom wanted me to give you a call. She had me list you as her primary beneficiary on a policy that she just put in place to make sure that if anything were to ever happen to her, that you would get left some money, some cash, or a benefit, right? Some people are very weird about telling their kids that they're leaving the money behind, or their spouse. Some people are paranoid as can be. And so oftentimes I'll ask, hey, you don't want me to mention how much you're leaving behind, or is that a big deal? I want to make sure that you're comfortable in this situation as we handle this moving forward. And so I'll say, okay, yeah, so basically, what she wanted me to do is to give you a ring, make sure that you had my name and my phone number in the event I know it's not something you want to think about on a Tuesday afternoon, but just if something ever happened, you don't have to burn the house down just looking for a business card. I just wanted to introduce myself. You want to go ahead and type this in your phone? They're going to say, yeah, oh yeah, of course. Now, while I have them on the phone, this is a great opportunity for me to kick up a conversation about, so I was just talking with your mom. Can you believe that, she, again, I'm not going to tell you exactly how much, but she was only getting enough to, cover a funeral and then some. Dude, it was like $100 a month. Can you believe that? $100 a month? She's on a fixed income? Yeah, I know. It's crazy too, because if she'd have gotten life insurance at your age, it would have only probably been about $30 a month, and she could have gotten like, $1 million in coverage or something. Now, granted, these are different types of insurance policies, and you need to be sure to go over that with them. You don't want to confuse or mislead the prospect by any means, but it's something to pique their interest, to move forward into a conversation. Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah. I mean, while I got you while you're saving my number, I can just pull up a quote for you right now. I'm straight into conversation. Yeah, I'd have to ask you a couple of health questions and, go through all that stuff, but, it only takes a few minutes. Mom did it, right? Thank God she planned ahead. What would your kids think? Do they want you to plan ahead? Now I'm in a conversation and an appointment. Now, if they're busy, of course, I'm at work. I can't talk right now. Hey, you know what? I totally understand. Let me give you a ring back. That way, I can tell you what the next steps would be, and that way you can just save my phone number, and in the event that you need anything, you can always reach out. 3 points you need to take away from that. First, I'm always going to use my client the same way that when I'm calling with a beneficiary as a point of interest. I'm always going to say, hey, mom asked me to call, blah, 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 this, that, and the third, because it keeps them on the phone. They're not going to hang up on me because I'm no longer a telemarketer. I'm a trusted advisor. Number two, I'm not just calling because I'm a nice guy. Yes, I'm a nice guy, but that's not why I'm calling. I'm calling to see if there's more business in the house. Is there anyone else that I can help, right? Because at the end of the day, we're not salespeople searching for a commission. We're problem solvers looking for an issue. And so if we're not going after everyone in the home, I've heard of horror stories where people have gotten insurance and then their brother died the next day. And then they all still ended up passing the hat around. And she came out of pocket, the person I signed up. Or their dad died. She had 14 siblings and he was married. And the wife took all of his assets and ran. And none of her siblings out of 14 were willing to help her even pay for a funeral. And she was stuck on a payment plan for 12 and a half years. It's ridiculous. So if you're an insurance agent watching this, you're not asking for referrals right now, or you're not contacting beneficiaries, you're doing your client a disservice and you're doing a poor job. Luckily, you can use that script and employ it moving forward to not only make more money, solve more problems, but also to help more families. So I want you to keep that in mind moving forward. But point number 3, before I close out here, is that every single action that you take should be made with intention. Take intentional action. so that you can finally realize that everyone that you talk to is a lead, not just the person who sent the mailer in. Because if you can get off-market deals, you're beating out every single other agent in the country. So if you like this video, go ahead and click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Let me know what questions you have. And if you want to get more weekly training like this on sales, marketing, getting more leads coming in for you, how to work referrals, so on and so forth, you can click the link down below and join Insurance Agent Freedom. We'll see you in the next one.